is amazing. I was clash heads again. This is like Chaz Moskin and Cam Water.
For the first time here for season 3. Davis on pole, Vanderkrant in second. It's going to be sprint round action here tonight. Let's go racing here at Daytona. It was a good start there from Davis in comparison to Vanderkrant in behind. Cowan's absolutely bogged it up and already dropped out of the top 3 here as they come down towards turn 1 for the first time. There's biffing and barging between Gallen and Cowan. These guys are still going at it after last season. They survived for this time by though. Through turn 2 and 3 they come. Nice and clean, boys. Keep it up as they come up to...
I love riding. It's a real social thing. There's a great bond between riders.
Every weekend I look forward to getting out there. It's a freedom like no other.
Riding to work is a great way to start the day.
Shannons insure all types of road bikes, not just classics. They offer features riders really want. It's why they're one of Australia's leading motorcycle insurance providers.
Whatever you ride. Whatever you ride.
Whatever you ride.
Ride with Shannons.
Call 134646 for a quote.
Through turn 1, it was a horrible start from De Bono, who's absolutely bogged it up and gets eaten alive by Dixon and Gowans as they come on through. Through turn 1 they come, and they all spread out around in towards the first sector of the Silverstone circuit. They look all right at the moment. Okay, there's already been a car spun round. That's Jordan Ferguson offline.
Is green at Road Atlanta here as well. Faulkner did get away. De Bono is tucked in as well. Unfortunately, Houghton is on that outside line. De Bono does want to turn it to twos. He's got the job. De Bono's overtaken. Now can he get Ben Faulkner up through turns for 2 and 3? They go round the right-hander, dropping down the hill. Faulkner's out in front. De Bono second. Houghton third. Ratcliffe in fourth. No real dramas going into turn 1.
We've always had a few cars. They're all special. The T-Bird.
Oh, that's mine.
The Combi for when we want to get away. The XR8.
It's going to be a classic.
They're all insured with Shannons.
We've also got Shannon's home and contents cover,
Which helps protect our automotive collectibles, tools and memorabilia in the home and garage. If you're motoring enthusiasts like us, it's got to be.
Shannon's.
Shannons, insurance for motoring enthusiasts. Call 134646 for a quote.
This is amazing. I was clash heads again. This is like Chaz Moskin and Cam Waters. Almost the same situation. Better contact going down the hill. Sam Noble wants to snip on Dave Coleman now. Sam Noble's bottle right now because tell you what, Bruce Tannock and Jamie Dyson just absolutely drove away from us. Hayden trying to go around the outside. This is where he could have just sent it up the inside, but he hasn't committed, which is fair enough. It's very scary out there, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see if we get a good run. Dodds just absolutely think about it. It's a really nice move. Blake Delaney had to move out of the way.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Welcome back to the GR86 Nationals Round 5 from Knockhill. And we've decided that we're not going to go the normal way. We're going to go in reverse. So yes, we have got Knockhill Reverse here this evening for you on this one. I'm JB. I'm not going to be joined by Steve Sinkovich again this week. The guy, man, he's just so lazy this week, taking a couple of nights off. It's going to be Cowie's going to come along for the ride, which is going to be absolutely epic. 3 20-minute races with reverses, of course. 15 minutes of qualifying. Let's bring you up to date with the standings. Let's start down in the AMS. Bradley Wall leading the way, 4-5-3 with Greggy Johnson in second. David 7-4-7 Simmons in third. Then Shane Nowens, Dan Harding, Steph Piccoli, Greg Leake, Brendan Soper, Brent Wassell and Anthony Tregigo further back there as well. In the Pro-Ams, it is Chris Tomlin from LCR. He's leading the way at the moment with Trev Mortimer, Steve Daniels, Kevin Wakefield, Bradley Mays and Wayne Edwards rounding out your top 6. Mark Cochran, Dean Sinkovich, Travis Nelson, Matty Gerrard and Cam Hardwick behind that. Now in the pros, Joshy Horton leading the way with Jackson Pringle in second place, Carl Lavery in third. Then you've got Dan Batush and Dave Gallo. Dougie Gowans down in 6th place with Dan Burton, Shane Ratcliffe, Dylan DeBono, Ray Oliver, Mitch Noble, Ryan Price, Callan Hodgkinson and Sam Katakazinos at the back end. That's going to wrap up the standings. And on that note, let's bring Mr. Cowie into the booth with me here as well. Cowie, welcome in, fella.
Thanks very much, JP. It's good to be here. I'm covering for Sinker tonight. I think he's at the conference, so he's been enjoying himself. I reckon that's what's happening. But, mate, I heard you guys were a bit backward here, all you 86 drivers and broadcasters, but I didn't think you'd take it literally and actually go this track in reverse.
Mate, I've seen this car. I've seen different cars drive this track in reverse. TCRs, Radical SR8s, SR10s. It is absolutely nuts. Now, one of the things, the interesting thing about this, it doesn't matter what way round you do this circuit. Turns 4 and 5 are always in the same place. That's the thing with this track, because turns 4 and 5 is the chicane. So this is the part of the jump they're going to be coming up to now. They've got to point, shoot, aim, and hope for the best. That's always 4 and 5. It doesn't matter which way round you go. But we were talking about this in the green room as well. That jump is going to be absolutely mighty for some people if they can get it right.
Oh, look, I've done this place both ways in the Gen 2 supercar, and I think I took out Rory Stone Street, one official here, getting the jump wrong in this reverse. So, I mean, as you just saw it there in that footage we were watching just then, like, it's a blind jump. You don't know if you're going to get the off track until you actually land. Then you find out if you've done it or not.
That's the thing as well. The slowdown might become for you if you're going to end up basically jumping it. It's such a difficult corner to get right, and you've just... It's blind, as you said. That's the thing. It is completely nuts because you can't see where you're going to land. Now, we'll go on the nose of Dougie Gowans. You've got to pick a reference point on the hill to the left because you've got to point, shoot, and hope. There's the tree. You pick the tree. Hopefully, you just about see the top of the bollards as you're coming over. And that's kind of the sort of the nature of the day. And I think that's where a lot of the flashpoints are going to come from.
Yeah, it looks like you've got to get really close to that inside red curbing there. It is a sausage curb, so I'm not sure these cars how they handled hitting it. But you can see Dougie was really close to there, but that's the line. So a lot like Oran Park is very similar. When you come up over the hill, you've got to hit the concrete curbing on the right, which then lines you up for coming up over the hill. So I think it's very similar.
Yeah. It is kind of a point-shoot situation. There's multiple circuits. Road Atlanta's got it on the way up to from turn 1 to turn 2 and 3. You aim at the tree because you know you're roughly where you should be. But that's going to be some of the air they're going to get over this jump today, and we're going to be rushing in here. 22 drivers on track. A little bit lighter than normal, but that could be the fact of the track. I'm going to be That's what I'm going to be putting it down to as well. Unless, of course, apparently the rugby was on yesterday in Australia, so maybe they've all just hung over and nobody wants to drive anything.
It was State of Origin last night, so, but we still had great numbers in the SFLs. Though fortunately or unfortunately, either way you look at it, as I got to watch most of the State of Origin, so that tells you how well I went last night. But yeah, look, it's a great night of racing. I'm looking forward to this. Even Knockhill, it's one of those tracks that, yeah, I don't know if anyone would have it on their favourites, but you know, a lot of us old iRacers have given it a go, and you know, it can bring up some fantastic racing. Wait till we see these guys try to go too wide through the jump, and then we'll see how exciting it really is.
Well, I'm hoping, Cowie, that they're not that stupid. I've got to be honest, because if they try it, somebody's going to end up somewhere going left. I watched TCRs go round here in the full reverse, and literally I watched a race where about 3 people went over the jump, and as they went over the jump or through the chicane as they're supposed to go, literally they hit the deck and they exit stage left straight away. It's like, it was almost like you just snapped the steering as soon as they landed, bang, off the TCR went to directly left. It was like they've just gone into the underworld all of a sudden.
This corner here is quite interesting too. As you come around and come down the hill, this is where you're going to see first lap 2 abreast trying to go through there. I know I've got my braking wrong there before it skirted straight off and taken out the car 5 cars in front. So I think that's something to be watched early on in this race as well.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a couple of things that are going to be making this really interesting, and one of them is going to be coming into turn 1 at the same time. They've all got to get it off the line. They've all got to get it stopped here, because it's turn 1 down in Taylor's as a directly turn left. You are literally coming back on yourself as you're going to go hard on the brakes with just about 6.5 minutes during qualifying. You can see that turn 1 there is going to be all the way back in. Again, they've got to be careful, Cowie. We've talked about this before all season. The debris line coming in, the racing line getting smaller, and then that's going to leave very side-by-side action, very precarious indeed.
I know the moment you fired up the session here and jump in to have a look, and you can see that there is just dirt and gravel everywhere in a couple of these outside corners. Look at it there. And, you know, again, get some of that on the road, and suddenly, you know, your quality times are going to be off by 2 or 3 tenths. So you can see the leaders here really pushing hard, try and put down some good laps early. I think these things still take a couple of laps to get up to speed too, so we should start to see the peak times from the field now.
Yeah, I think that it's basically, you can look at your first couple of laps. Joshie Horton's up where he's on about 8 laps here. I think that's probably about his tyres probably done. I don't think it's going to get any better than that, to be blatantly honest with you. I'll be very surprised if anybody can really get some times going. Dougie Gowans has just popped himself up into 4th there for FTR. Great job from him. Bradley Wool is behind Greggy Johnson in the AMS at the moment. That's obviously for Brad and Greg leading the championship. That's going to be imperative that is basically for Bradley Wool the other way round here, because otherwise he's not going to want to be doing that. Chris Tomlin in the Pro-Ams, sitting in 4th in the Pro-Ams at the moment. He's behind Trev Mortimer and Kevin Wakefield. He needs to be ahead or as close to Trev Mortimer as he can be, because it's them two fighting it out in the championship. Obviously, we know about the pros being Joshie Horton and Jackson Pringle. Lavery in there as well. They're the only 3 that are above 600 points. So it's going to be between these 3 superstars here to see if they can get this car basically going forward and stay within each other. The problem is, though, Cowie, is we've chucked them at a racetrack where they've got to drive the wrong way. We've also given them only 3 heats to try and do it, and short, sharp sprints in the meantime, and that mental attitude of I've got to get to the front by the end of lap 1 is going to go wrong, isn't it?
Well, I was going to say that I don't think many of these guys are over racers, so we can't even say they've got the benefit of turning left more than right.
No.
Either. So, yeah, look, this is a tricky track, I think, in either direction. You know, we know the 86s are a lot about sort of keeping that momentum up. You want to keep your mid-corner speeds up, and, you know, those little sort of slow corners and those tight jumps, you know, it's going to be more, you get it wrong, it's not just going to cost you line, but it'll cost you speed, you know. So it's going to be about precision for these guys out here. That's why I'm really keen to see what it's going to be like when we get them 2 or 3 wide. Look at the gravel already on the road there. That's going to be costing a tenth or two.
Well, I have to pray that we don't end up this side. I've got to be honest, Cowie, because I'll be a little bit worried if anybody tries to go 2 or 3 wide here. 2 wide I can get.
Just saw a dust storm. There was a dust storm there, so someone's already going off there. So I think it's going to happen first lap, buddy. Should be good fun anyway.
I think this may have been Jackson Pringle taking a dive out off the side of the circuit here. There's a look at that gravel. Oh, man.
Ah, it's awesome.
Dude.
That's awesome, Bo. Come on. I mean, look, iRacing has added in all these variables. I mean, the big one is rain, and these were one of the first cars that had rain. You know, so I'd say these guys have been the most experienced of that. I know I spoke to Greg Johnston earlier, and I said, how are you doing today, Greg? And he said, it's not raining, so great.
Very nice.
You know, the gravel, that's...
It depends. I think for me, Kay, it depends if the gravel's going to carry over. Is the track condition going to stay as it is, or is it going to be a complete reset when we go into the first race? If it carries over, I'm a little bit worried.
Well, I think I might have to talk to the other admins to see how they're handling their series. For the V8s last night, I set a 30-minute gap between each of the sessions, so 30 minutes in the in-game time from when practice ended to when quali started, and then the same from when quali ended to the race started, because I had rain on the horizon. Now, I don't know if this is going to be straight in or half an hour later, but I know they leave marbles on the track. Whether or not they would clean up debris, I think that would probably happen between sessions, wouldn't it? It would happen in real life.
I would have thought so. Okay, so race 1 in sim time is 4:45 a.m. Race 2 in sim time is 10:15 a.m. And race 3 in sim time is 12:45. Top 10 reverse for race 2, top 5 reverse for race number 3. So there is going to be a time break, but I don't think they should take it off. I think they should leave it. It'll be great fun. By the end of race 3, or in the middle of race 3, it'll just be one blanket of gravel. It'll be like Bambi on ice.
On marbles.
Yeah, Bambi on ice. Absolutely, I agree. See, I think that should be fun. I think that'd be cool. Let me know in YouTube chat as well if you are out there as well. Thanks so much for joining us. Much love. At the same time, we've got 3 minutes of qualifying to go. And at the moment, Horton, Lavery, Gowans, Pringle, Batouche, Byrne and Oliver, all the pros at the top. Then you've got Mortimer, Sinkovich, Chris Tomlin and Kev Wakefield, you're 8 to 11. Then Greggy Johnson in the AMS in 12th. And then 13th, 14th, Cochrane Edwards, Wall, Mays, Pickley, Daniels, Leak, Simmons and Roach further down the back end here as well. So why is...
Sinker found his car, buddy, because... You know, he's always late jumping in on the SFLs, so I know he doesn't get a huge amount of practice in them. Is he actually practicing in this car? So he's running inside the top 10, so I'll have to ask him. Is this his main car?
It's possible. I do want to have a look at something here, and I'm going to try and do some fancy camera trickery. Why are you on wet tyres, Mark Cochrane?
Well, I mean, it could be, 2000s F1 groove tyres, but yeah, I don't know why you would be on wet.
That is wet tyres there. Not sure. No, if you want a comparison into what slick tyres should be.
No grooves there.
There's no grooves on that one. So basically...
Well, I know I went the wrong way last night. I went out on slicks after my first incident, thinking that the track would be drying out, and that did not work. Yeah. So, but yeah, that's a bit strange because it doesn't look like there's any rain on the horizon here.
No, it definitely doesn't. And he may have noticed because he's gone back in pit lane here, so I'm hoping he's paid it. Oh, Dougie.
He's either noticed or he's been listening in and knows we're talking about him. So.
Yeah, he's like that zoomed in focus on his front wheel. There as well to find out. Look at that. Bye. Gravel aplenty there for Dougie Gowans bringing it back on. And this is going to be...
I think this is the point of qualifying where you probably set your best smooth lap. So now it's all about trying to find a 10th here, a 10th there, and this is where you'll see the drivers, making those mistakes because they're right on the edge.
Yeah.
And It's only a 54-second lap, so they're getting a fair few laps in qualifying and in practice. So, yeah, they're now just really pushing the limits.
Yeah, they're going to be dizzy as bonkers after this. You're just driving around 54 seconds, round you go, and you've got 20 minutes to do it as well. So this could be very, very interesting. The thing is, though, with the lower field, we could see an interesting poleman for race number 2 here, because it's going to be the top 10 reverse. So anybody from Tomlin, Wakefield, Johnson, Cochrane, Edwards, Wall could be on pole for race number 2 in hindsight. So we'll see how this one goes here for some of these guys and whether or not that is going to be the case. Because let's face it, when you're put on pole for the first time, yeah, good luck. That's all we can say on this one. Let's bring you up the grid for race number 1. Joshy Horton is your pole man. Carl Avery in second. Dougie Gowans in third. Then you got Jackson Pringle, Dan Bartush and Dan Byrne for 5th and 6th. Ray Oliver, Trev Mortimer, Dean Sinkovich, Shane Nowens, Chris Tomlin and Kevin Wakefield rounding out the top 12. In behind that is Greggy Johnson, Mark Cochran, Wayne Edwards, Bradley Wall, Bradley Mays, Steph Piccoli, Steve Daniels and Greggy Leake with David Simmons and Anthony Roach in there. And then you got RC behind that one. Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't got your drinks and if you haven't got your popcorn, I suggest you go and get them now, because this is going to be 20 minutes. Well, if it's anything like the SFLs at Bathurst, we'll be picking to see how many are actually going to finish, because we lost 12 out of a 33 car field last night at the SFL in the rain at Bathurst there as well. You were in that one as well, weren't you, Cowie?
Yes, I made it to lap 3 before I killed my car spectacularly.
Well done.
So, yeah, look, it was one of those nights. There was puddles, and I managed to find one early on lap 1, repaired my car, and then binned it on lap 3. So, and I'd already used my fast spare, so I was done. Glad to hear I wasn't the only one, but yeah, definitely a drop round for me.
Mate, there was loads going on. You know it's bad when Josh Horton, Marcus Watson, and who else? Josh Horton and Marcus Watson did not get to the end of the race. Josh crashed out. Marcus finished like way down the order. It was absolutely bonkers.
It was a lottery. If you're in the mid-pack, it was definitely a lottery. And I mean, we were talking, and it was all about how long can we go before we use our fast repair. And for me, that was lap 1.
Well, good job. If you're going to do it, you might as well do it early. At least it allows you to put your feet up. Right, ladies and gentlemen, lights are coming on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We are green, green, green. You can see Lavery barely got that car off the line. Big old squiggle in the back from him. Joshua Horton's going to take the whole shot down into turn 1. He is going to be in that lead by the end of that. That's due to this man not getting the car off the grid. He squirreled that car. Pringle's going to try and go up the inside. The debris still left on the racetrack there. It does look like there's been incidents further back. David Simmons almost collected. I believe that was Bradley Mays in front of him there, but Josh Horton leads the field for the first time in through turn 4 and 5. Over the jumps we're going to be going very, very shortly. Hold on to your hats. It's going to be the first launch through. Who's going to be able to make this work? Who's not going to be able to make this work? As we're on the run down to the end of turn 1, does everybody get it through? They're trying too wide, Dean Sinkovich.
Oh, there it is.
There it is.
Oh, he's lost it too.
Oh, that's Chris Tomlin, your championship leader in the Pro-Ams, has just gone round. But Horton takes the whole shot in turn number 1 there, Cowie. We knew it was coming. We just didn't know where it was going to come from.
Oh, look, I knew first lap someone would have a go up the outside there, and yeah, did not pay off for Tomlin. He's got a bit of work to do now.
On the outside, too wide. Oh, bro.
It's just the car got unsettled as they come over the hill. I think, you got to remember, a lot of those red curbing sections are also raised. So it's not just the line. If you hit them wrong, the car's going to sort of swiggle on him. And I think that's what's happened. It's sort of moved in the air. He's landed sideways, tried to catch it, and the tank slapper, the second grab of it's got him.
Yeah, exit stage left there for Chris Tomlin. Through we go the first time. You can see even the clear run from Dan Bartush was a little bit squirrely. On board with Dougie Gowans now coming into the left-hander, which is officially turn 1, going the right way round through Doofus Dip. Now we're moving on again. This is going to be thick, fast, and action-packed due to the fact that it's a very short lap. That's the scary thing for Chris Tomlin here as well, though, Cowie. It is a short lap, How long is it going to be? Is he going to get lapped by the midway through the race as Ray Oliver has just sent it on the inside of Trev Mortimer? He's just gone through here. But that's the fear. You make one mistake on a short track, you could end up a lap down.
Well, I mean, you're looking at intervals there, but I think if we added that up, he'd already be 20, 30 seconds behind the leaders, you know. And that's just purely by your position on the road. So I know when I'm starting P20 in one of the V8 races and I look at the timing and it tells me I'm already 17 seconds behind the leader, that's a bit cruddy. Oh, too wide again.
Dinamark!
Oh, Cochran was just... Was that Wakefield in front of him? I think that was just all over the shop. The car was wiggling. It was so close to the same incident that happened to Tomlin.
They've hit! Dean and Mark Cochran. Dean stuck his nose on the inside. There looked a little bit of a gap. And unfortunately, both men went sideways there. Dean really pushing the boat at the moment. That's a 4th place for him in class now. Steve Daniels having a go on the inside of Greggy Leake here. Is Leakey going to be able to hold it? The man that spun the safety car at Parfitt yesterday was very, very interesting as well. If you haven't watched it back in the SFLs, go and watch it. He comes into Forest Elbow and spins the safety car. So there we go.
And I think Mark Cochran probably owes Brad Wall a coffee or a beer at least, because Brad could have easily turned him then, you know, just trying to stay in it. But he got out of the throttle and actually, you know, gave Mark the time to recover.
Yeah.
So good driving there from Brad.
Well, I've seen it so many times, Cowie, when they do just literally people run him over here, and that's, you know, in multiple series I've watched it, so I wouldn't be surprised. Drive-through penalty for car number 235, which is contact lap 1, turn 9. So 235 is Bradley Mays, who's had a drive-through penalty given to him there on lap number 1. What did he get himself into?
So he must have caused that contact early on that we were talking about, because he's right at the back too, so he's sort of fallen foul of it, and then he's going to cop a penalty too.
Yeah.
So let's have a look here.
No, he didn't do anything. Oh, there we go.
I don't know if that would be enough to be penalised, would it? Unless he damaged that car.
The only other thing after that, was the jump, but I don't think he was involved in that jump, was he? At all on here. Well, keep an eye just on Bradley Mays for a minute. You're not missing anything, guys. They are just driving around the track. You're fine, I promise. All the action is going to get brought to you. But did he do anything else? 9 is the last corner of this. There goes Chris Tomlin. Oh, he's going to come up the inside. Or is he going to come up the inside? No. It's got to be this final corner where he sent it 3 wide.
Oh, he's been pretty clean through there. So,
there it is.
It there, baby.
Yeah, there it is there for Bradley Mays. Unfortunately for him, no further action was called earlier on as well. That was car 31 and 157. And no further action from them. That was Shane Daniels and David Simmons. Steph Piccoli is running side by side at this moment in time with the 747 Jumbo Jet himself. Here, as you can see, he's got the aeroplane. Steph!
That was just... there may be a little bit of contact there that unsettled the car, but it sort of looks like the slide started and Steph just couldn't catch it in time, probably trying to stay in it to keep the speed, really. Because, as we said before, these things are a lot about momentum. You give it up, you know, lose the toe, and it can be quite hard to get back into the contest.
Yeah, absolutely. Byrne, Bartouche and Gowans. Gowans has also got Pringle for company, who's coming at him. Oliver's there as well. These guys have got to make sure they can get this worked here, because otherwise it's all going to go a little bit wrong for these. They're running through again, point at the jump, over they go. Dan Bartouche has got a lot of air. Dougie Gowans did as well. Dan Burns was quite flat through that. No real dramas for him. As I say that.
Commentators cursed tonight, buddy. That's like 2 or 3 times now. So, but that in there shows the class of the pros. So, like, I think, you know, we see it, the AMs and rookies, pro-AMs, you know, we're less likely to recover that. And you can see he's got tapped, but he's managed to recover that car and stay on the back, you know, after that mistake, you know. So that's the difference. The recovery time just seems to be a lot quicker, I think.
Is it the reaction time on catching a slide? Because Ray Oliver's obviously done something here at the same time. Over the jump. Oh, dude, you're not catching that. Oh, steady.
He did. He's just a bit hot in here, I think.
Yeah. He goes as well, just can't catch it soon enough. That's just carrying too much speed. Anthony Roach has jumped straight back to pit lane after this off. We'll do these really quickly. Oh, is it going to go round?
Well, that might be a penalty if he's done that, because there's a request to tow will be in play. He's got going again.
No, he's done something after here because he went off not long after that. He's done something again here to put him straight back in pit lane. Oh, bro. Ouch. Oh. Over the jump he goes. Exit stage right this time for Anthony Roach. Yeah, he did tow, but whether or not that was with permission, though, Cowie.
I would say not. I'd say he's probably looking at a pit lane start for the next race, or championship points for this one. Good little battle here with Cochrane, Wall, Edwards. Sinkers on the back, trying to get on the back of this fight.
He's trying to close in here at the moment in time. Is Bradley Wall. He's trying to make sure he can get away and escape up the road and be out of trouble. Cochrane's got now and closing in on him as well. I think, to be honest with you, Gary, I believe that could be a back marker there. That is Wayne Edwards. It's not a back marker. It is Edwards in behind him. There, so Edwards closing in on the back of Cochrane. Now a little bit further back. He's got Singovich trying to push him along there. Dan Bartush's got Dan Byrne in front of him. Roach is in pit lane. Whether or not that was, as we said, requested, or whether or not there's going to be some form of penalty coming. Dean is trying to run too wide. Now it allows Dean to go through. Dean does go through. And now he's on the chase after Edwards. I think this is going to be a continued scenario here as well. The fact that basically we're going to see people in battles, then it's like what we normally see, Cowie, where the front guy goes and runs away, the back guy comes up, and next thing you know, they're having a battle, and then the next front guy runs away, and then the next guy comes up the back. And that seems to be the case here. Bradley Wall trying to get away, but quite not at the moment, being able to escape.
What you see, we see it in the SFLs a fair bit too, that, you know, once you start battling, you know, it'll cost you a second or two a lap. And, you know, that just gives the guys behind you a chance to close up. And, you know, and very much the same in these cars as well, because they are all about momentum. You start battling, you give up some of that momentum. It just gives the guys behind a chance to catch up and join the fight.
Yep. Oh, Cochrane's gone round. The problem is he did it right in front of the other people behind him. Well,
it's going to be one of those interesting corners. I think there's a few different lines the way you can take this hairpin, and I think he was looking for the tight exit where you can really get on the gas, and because it's cambered quite nicely in there. Yeah, so he's just got on the gas a little bit too early. He hasn't given the car a chance to get down into the camber before he's got on the throttle. Maybe just a little bit thirsty there.
Yeah, maybe, but Greggy Leake has also done something, continuing his run of spins on evenings, of course. This is his second night of a spin. Oh no, 747 lives up to his name. Oh my God. The rocket ship itself, the aeroplane himself, went shooting in there. Greggy Leake didn't spin, but he picked it up that he's just basically was slow due to the fact the 747's coming through like an absolute 747.
Well, that's what happens sometimes when you leave the door open, and I think sometimes that he may not have had a choice. He's broken a bit late there, and he was going through there regardless if he was left room or not.
Yeah, he basically was going through. Dean's just gone round.
Another car that's looped.
Yeah, Dean's just looped it as well. Unfortunately, you see the gravel.
He was having a great run.
Oh, Tom
there's another one. So,
oh no, Steve Daniels this time.
It's that jump, coming down out of that jump. I mean, if you don't land it perfectly, the car, you know, lands and bounces.
Yeah.
And we've seen it, that, you know, it's not the easiest to catch it. And we can see sort of some of the back markers here, or the guys running around P15, you can see they're not feeling nearly as aggressive at the jump as the front runners are.
Yeah.
So there's the jeopardy. There's time to be found if you're brave enough, but it might be a little bit of a regular landing, I think.
Yeah, I think you are right. It's being how to see how they get through. Simmons and Leake here. Simmons is going again. Oh my God, Dave. Oh.
Both of them giving each other room. Nicely done. Let's see whether or not he can stay up the inside here for the next section.
Yeah, 747 on a bit of a mission here to get that GR86 up the inside of Greggy Leak. Dave, what is he doing?
Oh, good driving from Leakey to catch that too. So,
oh,
and look at who's that is. That Greg Johnson that just decided to be a nice little shark there, and Johnny on the spot. I mean, sometimes the best moves can be made when the people in front are battling, aren't they? You know, that's when you just wait for your opportunity and take big advantage of it.
Where is Leakey going?
Leakey. Yeah, I was just going to say to him that black stuff, Leakey, that's what you need to drive on.
Yeah, Sinker's trying to get out of the way as well. He's taking it. The back markers, the problem is they're now being lapped. So it took 12 minutes, but this is one in the conversations we had. When you start making mistakes, the leaders are going to come through on you, and it's very, very difficult to get it. Ah, David Simmons! He's just clattered Josh Horton!
Oh, no.
And Lavery! Oh, my God! 747.
I think one of the things when... Oh, what's he done? He's had a big spin, so he's gone for another big move on Leakey. Oh, sorry, that was on Greg Johnson. He's got out there.
Oh, no.
Oh. But I think what we're missing too was some of those contact, JP. Remember, these are front wheel drive cars. No, they're rear wheel. But I think the axle to axle damage. I think Greg Leakey was struggling to get the car turned there. That's why he was on the outside. So I think maybe because we saw him come into the pit, use his fast repair. I think. I know he's in the pits. It hasn't come out.
This is absolutely bonkers. Don't know what 747's on, whether or not he's driving on too many Fosters or whatever the situation is here, but he's gone for 3 Banshee moves and got to take it out the leader for 747. Yeah. I am not quite sure what punishment's going to come out of this. I don't even know if a drive-through is going to equate for this occasion here. I think it's going to be more... I don't know. Stop and hold, I guess. I'm not entirely sure what's going to happen.
I'm not sure. Well, if you get involved in multiple incidents, it can certainly, rather than giving you 2 drive-throughs, they'll escalate it to a stop and hold.
Dean's gone again.
Josh Horton just in the wrong.
Oh, he's managed to hold it.
A few of these cars showing a few wounds now, and I think that's partly what's happened. Is some of these, some of these incidents are causing damage, and you've got a little bit of steering damage, and then suddenly you're struggling. I know it was the same for me last night. There's another car coming into the pits for a fast repair.
Yeah, that's 747. So whether or not that's a fast repair,
that might be the drive-through.
Yeah, it may well be here. I'm not quite sure why. I've got some...
Might want to move your mouse up.
Yeah, no, it popped up on the screen. I didn't do nothing wrong. Didn't touch it there either. But Carl Lavery now leading the way. Horton on the grass. He's pressurising him here as well. What is Joshy Horton's front steering like? Because he did take a big old whack from 747.
Generally what happens in iRacing, when you cop a lot of side damage, it will affect your top end speed. It may not affect his steering because he got banged straight in the door. It looks pretty straight there at the moment.
Yeah, it
but
does.
what it will do is it'll probably affect his top end. You can see here he's in the draft and he's only now just getting a chance to pop out.
Lavery left the door wide open though. He allowed him to go through here. Did Carl Lavery, left the door wide open for him. So
I think that might also be strategy too, though, because we're inside the last 4 minutes of the race now. But I mean, he's going to get a tow. But then again, Horton is the championship leader at the moment, and he's got some skills. Yeah. So maybe he's the man that can bring a broken machine home in P1.
Yeah, 157 is David Simmons. He's just gone and copped a drive-through for being a naughty boy there. I'm not really surprised by that one because he was being a little bit excessive on his driving. Driving above his ability.
When you go off. Look, he might have some good confidence here and be able to push hard. But, I mean, the real problem is when you have a moment and you've gone off the track, you need to look at your relative and see who's around and it's up to you to rejoin safely. And spinning and crossing the road at almost 90 degrees, I don't think is a safe rejoin.
No. I don't think so either, to be blatantly honest, from 747 there. Lavery still in behind Horton. We've got Byrne in his own battle. Dean Bradley. Oh my God, what has gone on here? Car 157, 10-point post-race penalty. Not surprised. Bradley Mays, Dan Batouche. Oh. God, that was
actually pretty well driven. That was well driven there because the car in front had a moment. He had to get out of it and try and still break up the car, and it was probably lucky that he hit the car in front dead square just before he started to turn in, because that could have been a way bigger incident than it was.
Yeah, absolutely. Drive-through
So I
penalty.
should say it's probably some good driving.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Simmons 157 drive-through penalty, unsafe rejoin. So poor old David Simmons is going to cop a 10-point penalty and a drive-through penalty. And I would safely say that we've got to do this 2 more times yet. So, yeah, good luck. At the moment, the man on pole, we did say there could be a different pole man, is Bradley Wall in the AMs for that top 10 reverse. He is going to be in pole for race number 2.
Why am I not surprised? I've known Brad for a while. Yeah, he was one of the sort of founding members of SRW and setting it all up with Sinker, well, both Sinkers. But, you know, he's always been Johnny on the spot. When there's a reverse top 10, you know, the amount of times Bradley Wall will be in 10th. It looks like Wayne Edwards has given him a bit of a battle there for that. So there's at least a couple of them where he's had an off maybe because he's now a second behind Edwards. So is that a moment from Bradley Wall?
Yeah. Look at where he is on the track. This is, that's actually the corner before the jump.
Oh, good recovery.
And he's gone round.
That's not the first time we're seeing that, man.
No.
Like, again, as you said, like carrying a little bit too much speed, and I think because we know how important that momentum is in these cars, it does encourage the drivers to try to carry more and more. And you know, so many times in the SFL, it's always the case for me where, that feels good. I'll push a little more, next lap. Okay, I'll push a little bit more next lap. We've gone too far. Next lap.
I've gone
and
too
I think
far.
that's sometimes what this is. Yeah. And the car generally lets you know with a big old tank slapper that you pushed it a little bit too far or it slides out. But good battle here. But
this is the last
is
lap.
it Labour's the one with the penalty, isn't it, or no?
No, this is the
Labour
last
with the penalty?
No, last lap of the race. Horton's there as well, 157 at 808, no further action. That was David Simmons. This whole session's been about David Simmons again, and he's there again on the side of the road trying to keep the car out of the way. Yeah, Joshua Horton's going to come over the line. No, he's going to wrap up race number 1, which can only be, I don't even know how to. Whoa! Carl Avery nearly hit the pit wall. Over the line goes Josh Horton. He wraps up the win in race number 1. Dougie Gowans grabs the 3rd place there in the pros, in the Pro-Ams. It looks like it's going to be Trev Mortimer's going to come over the line here. He's going to take it as well. And Trev Mortimer wraps up the Pro-Ams, which is great for him, mind you, because he's ahead of Chris Tomlin in the chasing Chris Tomlin in the championship. Kev Wakefield's going to come over in 2nd place. He's going to grab himself a 2nd in Pro-Am as well.
Bradley Wall, he's fighting hard, trying to get this 10 spot back, but I think that little moment, that's cost him.
Yeah, Craig
and
Edwards.
It's going to be Wayne Edwards that will be pole for race number 2.
Yes, Wayne Edwards, sorry, not Craig Edwards. But Brad did wrap up the win there. He did have Greggy Johnson, who's finished in behind him. Who hasn't finished? Mark Cochran, apparently, as he's going to come over the line. Car 150 pit lane start there. I believe that was for towing without permission. That was Anthony Roach earlier on, which we did say, Cowie, that was kind of expected.
Yeah, it was coming.
It was coming.
Don't get me wrong. I actually did that myself deliberately in the SFLs, I think at Chicago, because I was well behind I think the leaders were only about 10 seconds behind me, and I was sideways in a spot where they couldn't see me. So rather than kill the leaders, I took the penalty by towing without permission. Because they wouldn't have seen me. Would have been death.
Yeah, that's well thought of for you there, dear sir. But Josh Horton wraps up the win with Carl Avery in second and Dougie Gowans in third. That's your 1, 2, 3 in your pros. Jackson Pringle, Dan Byrne, Dan Batouche and Ray Oliver round out the top 7. Trev Mortimer taking the win in the Pro-Ams. Imperative for him because he's ahead of Chris Tomlin, with Kevin Wakefield and Wayne Edwards rounding out the podium in the Pro-Ams. Bradley Wall in the AMs in 11th place with Shane Nowens, Steve Daniels, Chris Tomlin, Greggy Johnson, Bradley Mays, Dean Sinkovich, Mark Cochran and 747 behind him. Hopefully everybody will settle down. Then got Steph Piccoli, Greg Leach and Anthony Roach. On to the grid we go. It is going to be a top 10 reverse. So Wayne Edwards will be on pole with Kevin Wakefield alongside him and Trev Mortimer, 3 Pro-Ams at the top. Then you've got Ray Oliver, Dan Batouche, Dan Byrne, Jackson Pringle, Dougie Gowans, Carl Avery and Joshie Horton. Bradley Wall and Shane Nowens further down in 11th and 12th. Steve Daniels, Chris Tomlin, Greg Johnson, Bradley Mays, Dean Sinkovich, Mark Cochran, David Simmons, Steph Piccoli, Greg Leake and Anthony Roach. No Cam Hardwick there either, is in RC. They're on the grid ready to go already for race number 2. So let's see what happens here as well, with the lights going to be going on very, very shortly before we can get this one underway. We're just waiting for Shane Nowens, I believe, this time, and Anthony Roach. But then again, Anthony's in the pit lane start because of his towing without permission in race number 2. So, lots to take on here. 30 seconds to go.
Well, it's going to be a good one again. Reverse top 10s always create a little bit of carnage. Did see a message there before. Rebecca goes Steph. We saw Steph have a bit of a spin in the first race, so hopefully she can get back on it, starting P20 in this one. So, look, still a good field, buddy. I'm looking forward to this. Race number 1 was great. Yeah. Race number 2.
Here we go, lights are going to be on now. Wayne Edwards is going to get that car off the line for the WEBS Sim Racing. Now it's Kev Wakefield's going to come alongside him. Trev Mortimer's in the mix at the same time. Ray Oliver is there. He's having a go with Dan Batouche on the outside. They're 3 wide going into turn number 1. They are 3 wide, 4 wide, 3 wide, 3 wide, almost 6 wide further back. The checkups all the way through. Wayne Edwards manages to get the start. He's broken, I'm going to say he's broken away. He's about 4.5 attempts up the road. He can see the track first here. It has got dark. It isn't just my eyes at the moment, but we are quite dark currently. No chance, track's dry, no rain. Thank God for that. And even though we're in Scotland, which is basically the biggest thing, the fact we haven't got rain. Ray Oliver trying to come in for turn 5. Over the jump he goes for this first lap here. It looks like Lavery may have had some form of, I believe that might have been a checkup with Bradley Wall. Jackson Pringle, however, is off the side of the circuit. He's over there at the moment here, but Wayne Edwards got the start he needed, Cowan.
Was it Pringle was the car? There was one car that got slow, and I think he broke a bit earlier into the hairpin, and there was like, I think it was 5 or 6 cars sort of swept around him on either side, so it's, I think it was that red and white car or moment there. That's what's happened to Pringle. There might be a little bit of a tap involved in that.
Yeah, we'll leave that up to RC to decide if there was any contact. We're not going to have time to look back at it here at the moment because these guys are going thick and fast. The next 20 minutes is up for grabs. Don't forget, top 5 reverse for race number 2. So that puts Dougie Gowans at the moment in that top spot. Carl Lavery is having a good old fight in the middle here. Over the jump, that was not an ideal jump from Wayne Edwards because that allowed Oliver to come closing right in on him. At the same time, he just was a little bit more tentative through that part, Cowan.
I think Oliver got a great run there. You can see here he's continuing here up the inside. It's going to give him the whole seat, And you can see Edwards gone wide, and now he's going to, with that little bit of a dirt rub, that means that Bartush, Gowans, Wakefield are all going to be in the hunt here, and they're going 3 wide into the hairpin. Sensible heads 2 wide. That's sensible, isn't it?
Absolutely. That's the thing.
Is that Bartush that rode the curb there? Because I think that was him trying to make sure he didn't hit the car inside, gave him even more room than he thought than he actually needed to. But I know in the car sometimes you think things are so close. So, I think Dan given room there, which is good to see. Tap from behind.
Lots of taps.
Gowans?
Gowans, Horton, Mays, not Mays. There's Bartush off the side of the circuit as well. There was more than that.
Yeah, I think it was Gowans and Bartush that started all that, so both of those boys getting hurt up. So that might hurt Dougie's sort of run. And we'll see what race control's got to say. But shaking it up in the middle there, JP, just what we wanted to see.
Yeah, this is where it all kind of kicks off. Bartush and Gowans go, can't tell if there's contact there or if There's not.
It's one of those ones where I think that he's tagged the back, and that means he's broken a bit too hard to try and avoid it, and lost the rear. So you can. I've had that situation myself when you hit the car in front, you get on the brakes, and you lock the rears, and then it slides around. So it's sort of one of those things where Dougie was probably trying to avoid making too heavy contact with the car in front, and in the process hurt himself. So that may be a mitigating factor for him, but the fact Bartosz went off, race control generally doesn't like when you hit someone and they go off as well as you. Even if you've hurt yourself, you're likely going to cop a slap on the wrist from them as well.
And there might be a penalty coming there. We will keep an eye on it at the same time, of course. Horton now wrapped in. He's got Bradley Wall. He really kind of wants to get to Jackson Pringle to take that top 5 reverse away if he can. But we're going to find out whether or not this is even going to be possible here. We've got the front battle. You can see they're side by side up further back. Dan Byrne, Trev Mortimer, Lavery. They've just overtaken each other. Then we've got Pringle, who's got his own little queue of Wayne Edwards, Horton, Wall, Daniels, Mays, Nowens, and then Sinkovic has got his own queue behind that. Of Bartosz, Tomlin, Cochran. Simmons is on his own. Dougie Gowans is trying to come back through. He's on his way past. I believe that's Greggy Johnson at the moment in that blue machine further up there. It is. He's now chasing down Steph Piccoli, who's in front, trying to make sure that she can get to the end of race number 1 here. Oh, Greggy Johnson.
Tag of Greggy. Oh, no. And that may well be a safety car, because I think hitting front on, he's getting that car going. Can it turn?
No.
No. I think we're going to...
Yes.
Well, he's going to see if he can turn it. It looks like it goes left. Does it go right, though? That's the next side. Oh.
No.
He's still keeping it going, so, he might avoid a safety car here, but I think Dougie might be in for a double dose of pain, because it looked like he made contact with Greg going into that corner there.
Now, did he make contact with him?
I did say it looked like. It wasn't a,
he's in the wall
a damning
anyway.
statement. Yeah.
Poor old Gowans. They're having there's a little bit. He's still trying. Now, what's he going to be like coming back on track? Because he has got some right-handers to contend with here.
Oh, and that left-hand tyre is holding. It looks like he's almost flat on the rights as well. The right front's flat. The left is pointing the wrong way, but it seems to be actually steering, so he might get it back to the pits. Unfortunately, Greggy's race is probably ruined, but...
Yeah, well, let's see how and what goes on here, because this is Ray Oliver out in front by 3.7 seconds. Lavery's got Byrne, Mortimer, Pringle and Horton closing in. Bradley Wall has got Daniels and Mays there. Lavery's kicking up dust and just about to bring on a bucket load of gravel. Dan Byrne's going to try and go up the inside of the jump. He did make that work, but...
Good recovery from Lavery there too, because that's that unloaded position when the car comes out like that, it could spit you out.
Yep.
And Dan Byrne, he's another one of those reverse grid sharks. Very much a pro when he was racing in the Formula 3s and the SFLs, and a pro here as well, but he's always been one of those guys that, if he doesn't qualify well, he maximises, makes sure he's in the position to get advantage of those reverse grids and move his way to the front, and he's very good at it.
Yeah, he is. Well, we're going to see how he gets on. Mortimer is alongside Horton, or Horton's alongside Mortimer. Somebody's got to back out somewhere, because it's not going to be good for either of them. Now he's trying, he does manage to get through Horton. He bullies Mortimer out. Pringle runs a little bit wide, brings it back in again here. Over the jump they're going to go. Both men hopefully, yes, should make it through without any dramas. Oh, no, Pringle brings on more dirt. Lavery's tucked up the nose here. I think Bradley Wall has just got off. He has. Yeah, this is just nuts.
Are we watching, is this road racing or is it dirt racing? Because there's a fair bit of gravel on the road now, and we can. But again, I think it comes down, as we said before, momentum with these cars. So, you run a little wide and kick up a bit of dirt. It actually is faster than slowing down and staying on the track. Yeah. I think contact. Inside hole shot here for Lavery, but he's got out of it.
Surely he's not going to do this. Don't. No, he backed away.
Yeah, no, he got out of it early. Yeah. Well, Gabe, you contact a car going through there, it's going to send them to the stratosphere.
Oh, mate,
the weight being unloaded, you know.
Yeah, they're going to end up going somewhere. We don't know where, but they will end up being there as well. Joshie Horton now tucked in behind him. Horton is in behind Pringle. Pringle's in behind Lavery. Pringle's pushing Lavery down to turn number 1. Dan Byrne trying to now come up to a back marker. I think that might actually be Gabe Johnson. Lavery's got that inside line. Pringle's going to try and scoot it round the outside if he can. Now it's going to be coming out. It's the battle of the horsepower. Lavery gets back in. Just slots in, takes the nose of Horton. Horton's now coming back at him down that looping right-hander here. For Joshie Horton, is he going to be able to make it into Clark? He's got the inside line. He's up at the curb. He's 2 wheels. Oh! Very, very forceful from Horton.
Oh, that's it. But, I mean, the thing is, you know, when you get up on that too wide, then you're floating wide, and the car on the outside there was a little bit of contact, but he held on to it well. So, you know, good driving from Lavery, I think, there as well. Gave Horton exactly the amount of room that Horton needed. And it was one of those situations that if he didn't give Horton that room, he probably would have got sent.
Yeah, absolutely. I do agree, because he was up on 2 wheels, no real control. Oh, Pringle's going to try and dive up the inside of Byrne. Byrne's going to wrap him around the outside here into turn 1. Now Byrne's going to be on the right. Pringle is on the, right. Now Pringle's on the right and Byrne's on the left. From that picture, side by side on the run down into Clark. It is a left-hander, and it will favour Pringle. Now, oh, there was a little bit of contact. A little bit of contact. We do say rubbing as racing, Cowie, but we don't say rubbing them off the circuit. It's not a good idea.
No, look, it's one of those things. I mean, it looks like a good passing opportunity to go up the inside there. It was a T3. But the way the road falls away, it means you're always going to be running wide. So, yeah, you're risking contact. So, good driving from both of them there to minimise any, you know, major incident, because we've certainly seen a couple here at that spot tonight too.
Yeah, absolutely. Horton now is going to try and go up the inside again. Byrne is just not cut. Whoa, who was that?
That was one of the back markers getting out of the way, I think.
Well, that's one way of giving him room.
Stephanie in the pink car?
No, Anthony Roach. No, Piccoli's in.
Back there.
Yeah, Piccoli's in the Apex car in the grey with the pink wheels. There she is in front, actually.
It's one of the downfalls coming in as a ringing commentator.
No! Oh! I've got
you don't want to catch a back marker there.
No. The most horriblest place for Steph Piccoli to get caught on the entrance into the jump. Oh, dearie me.
To be honest, she did pretty well, actually. They all got through there with a bit of room, because that's hairy. I mean, look, in that case, Steph is probably entitled to drive her line and not get out of the way like she did. You know, so it's one of these things. I mean, yes, you got to obey boo flags, but that doesn't mean that you take yourself off, you know, a one-line racing line, you know, when there's only one line.
Agreed.
So, you know, look, she did well, and battling hard. I know she's got at least one fan out there, and Steph and Di, and yeah, every lap we're seeing guys out there in the gravel, because as I said, you know, you're better off staying in it. The gravel doesn't slow you down as much as getting out of the throttle. If you've got 17 incident points in a 20-lap race, as long as you're not using up one a lap, you're doing all right.
Yeah, absolutely. But in behind that, Lavery has got his nose right up of Mortimer's exhaust pipe here. Is he going to look up the inside? He is. Lavery's now going to take it into the inside of turn number 1, which is Taylor's. Lavery goes through, gets that job done, and over through goes Carl Lavery. Dougie Gowans has got Steve Daniels in front of him at the moment from LCR. This is a massive night, I've got to be honest, for Trev Mortimer here. He currently is ahead of Chris Tomlin again, and he's going to put a dent into Tomlin's lead in that Pro-Am Championship once more, going into race number 2, because it is a massive night for Mortimer doing this one here currently.
I was about to say that before, that he's doing a great job there, the leading Pro-Am at the moment, running in P6. And, you know, when his rivals back in P12. So I think it's 2 or 3 points per position in the sprints. So, it's at least a 12-point change, perhaps a bit more. And then also the result in race number 1. Remember, if he can pick up one more, like Laborie got him there, but if Mortimer could get that 5th spot back, that's P1 for race number 3. There's a car in the wall back there too, buddy.
I know, I saw. I just don't know who
what's
it
happened
is.
there.
I don't know if it's Mark Cochrane or it's not Mark Cochrane. So who is that's buried in the wall? Please don't tell me. Oh, it is him.
Oh, there it is.
Oh,
David
my
Simmons.
God!
Oh, he's taking out someone else as well. Oh, who was that red car?
Dean Sinkovich just got nailed.
No.
Wow.
So what happens is Simmons has made a mistake, damaged his car, gone, I need to pit. And again, probably hasn't looked at his relative. Poor old Sinker, driving his own race.
Look at this.
And next minute, he's on his roof.
We're in the grandstand. We're in the car park. We are in the car park. What?
Well, that car isn't going anywhere there, so it's probably going to be a tow, but we're getting close to the last 5 minutes of the race, so you'll probably get permission for that. What? And you watch iRacing will still give him a 50-second tow, even though he's right at the entry to pit lane too.
I don't get this.
Yeah, I don't think that was necessarily intentional. I think there's a bit of grass in there on the inside maybe as well. But again, yeah. These cars all about momentum. Like, it tends to be that the drivers just stay in it. If they run a bit wide, just stay in it. But the problem is every now and again, that's going to cost you. And we do have a safety car.
We do. That's probably to get the car out of the wall or to get Dean out of the stratosphere. If you're wondering why we were under safety car, well, Dean entered the pits, but not on purpose. Let's just put it this way. Here he is, there's 747.
Oh, boy. Look at it. Oh, that has twist in it as well. It's a 3.5 in the pike position with a twist at the end.
Yeah, and he parked it, which is absolutely amazing. I'm going to do this another way because I think this is
So you got 10s for the landing.
Yeah, watch. Up, over, bang, bounces off the tyre, through the bridge, which is amazing. And then, does he land in the space? Oh, he only gets 9 out of 10. He didn't land it in the space. So, there we go.
Deductions there to be taken there, I think.
Yeah, I think we have to as well. The fact he's managed to go through an object as well is probably quite a thing to talk about.
Mr. Simmons having a bit of a shocker tonight, but again, like if I was to say anything, this is where you need to keep an eye on your relative. But I think in his defence, I think that was more grass and the car was rotating around and he was a passenger for the last part of that. So I think, Dean's definitely unlucky, but I don't know if that was fully Simmons' fault with a bit of grass. See that grass there? And yeah, he's a passenger.
Yeah, and he is turning left. I think if he was turning right, there might be questions, but he was turning left there as well. Ray Oliver is back under starting orders. Here we are, green, green, green. I'm sorry we missed the start there, but these guys went a little bit quicker than what I thought. I forgot 3 laps here is not going to take very long whatsoever. And Ray Oliver's going to get the going now as well. We're going to have about 3 minutes to go, which we're going to have about 3, maybe just 4 laps there. Pringle's going to try and go up the inside of Oliver. He's going to go and look at unsettling him here. Oliver says no, not this time around. Now that problem is that's put Horton right up behind Pringle here, Cowie, is at the same time.
Well, you play peekaboo and pop out and say, I'm here, make a mistake. But these cars, the moment you pop out of the draft, you lose a couple of cakes. So, you see trying to go up the inside here. This is the jump. No, he pulled out of it.
These guys now.
When it gets down to, the chance of a W, man, looks like I think the pros up the front here are certainly willing to give it a send. Horton now looking for a run here.
Oh, he's trying to cover him off.
And look at that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oliver tried to cover him off there. He come out of turn 1 and Pringle had got turn 1. It's not turn 1 effectively. He come out of the final corner. There's the Carlin to Byrne.
Go around the outside. Oh, Byrne trying to go around the outside, all 3 of them. He got Josh.
He got one.
And it looked like he was trying to outbreak all 3 of them then for a moment.
Yeah, he definitely got one there, did Danny Byrne. He's now alongside Pringle. This Carlin's machine. Go, Dan. Go on, son. Have it. As he's trying to fight out here as well. Coming in now into turns 4 and 5, which is the jump area. It doesn't matter which way you go.
Oh, Lavery up the
side
inside as well.
Oh,
contact.
Did he hold it? Yes. 43 and 188. No further action. That's fine. I don't know. Can we have a 157 update on that one? As Lavery there.
They might be adding a few things up for poor old Mr. Simmons. But Ray Oliver doing great here. He's at the front. He's got all sorts of pressure from Pringle. You can see these boys having a go. Daniel Byrne, I think Joshy Horton. He's close enough. You're probably going to get one more lap after this one, buddy. So, and remember, Dougie Gowans is in that P5 position, so that's that reverse top 10. So he's trying to hold off from Lavery, and that's why those boys are fighting so hard back there too.
Yeah, they're having a right little
As I say that Lavery gets him.
Lavery just gets him. Gowans gets a bit of a slide. Lavery's now gone through. Now we're going to go back up front. I think we're going to follow this for the whole final lap here because there's only a couple more corners to go into McIntyre. Then we've got Doofus Dip at the what is effectively turn 1, the normal way round, but it's the final corner here as well. Ray Oliver, this is going to be the most important 50 seconds of his life. It's going to be a man on a mission. He cannot leave that door open. He cannot leave that door open. He did leave the door. He didn't close him off early enough. He's got to get it on the gas now, Ray Oliver. He does get it on the gas. They're going to be side by side coming down. This next corner is going to favour Jackson Pringle. It is a left-hander. Pringle's going to have this inside line. Is Oliver going to be able to outbreak him? Is he going to be able to come across him? Is he going to be able to barge him? No. Now Pringle's off the side of the circuit. Now Oliver's under attack from Byrne. Byrne's going to try and go too wide through the jump. Is this going to work? No. Byrne, exit stage left. Pringle going to take the win. Horton, is he going to be able to get it here as well? He's battling with Oliver. We've got into McIntyre at the moment. Now we're coming up the hill. It's going to be Jackson Pringle for the win. It is going to be Pringle for the win. He comes over the line. Is Ray Oliver going to be able to hold on to second place? It does look like he does from Joshy Horton. Carl Lavery in third. Trev Mortimer, pole position for race number 3.
What did we say?
Oh my God.
What did we say?
Bonkers.
That's a big moment there. Because where is his championship rival? Well, back in P9. So that's going to be 8 spots different for race number 3. But Daniel Byrne went for the big moment at the jump, and that has cost him 9 or 10 positions getting that wrong. But a little bit of contact. I mean, just rubbing racing there, but the problem is the car's just unsettled. When you come through there and it lands with a sideways pitch, it's always going to throw you out to the left there.
Yeah, absolutely. And unfortunately for Danny Byrne, it drops him all the way down the order.
Bartush with a moment. It was Bartush with a moment there coming flying over as well on the last lap. So these boys still sending it there until the end.
This is what that...
just the session rolled over, so we didn't get to watch it.
Yeah. All right, let's bring you up the results for race number 2, I should say. Now, is this the right one? It is. Jackson Pringle is your winner with Ray Oliver in second. Then you got Joshy Horton, Carl Lavery there. That's your 1, 2, 3, 4 in the pros. Trev Mortimer, another win in the Pro-Ams. Dougie Gowans in 6. Steve Daniels, Kev Wakefield rounds out the podium for the Pro-Ams. And you got Chris Tomlin and Shane Nowens in behind that with Wayne Edwards. And Bradley Wall taking the win in the AMs. Greggy Leake grabbing himself a second place there. And Piccoli getting herself a third. Well done, Steph. Anthony Roach further down with Dan Bartush as well, who we just saw had some form of moment. Then you've got Mark Cochran, Greg Johnson, David Simmons, Dean Sinkovich there, who ended up probably the most insurmountable, biggest moment you will ever see in racing, where he went over through a stand, mind you, and just to top it all off, he just missed the parking space, so he did lose some things on that. Right, guys, that's going to give us a couple of minutes. We're going to top our drinks up in the booth here because I think we're going to need it for race number 3. Top 5 reverse as well. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Okay, guys, we are back here as well, and I think you can safely say race number 2, Cowie, was just as bonkers as race number 1.
Oh, crazy. Good night to come in and watch the carnage here at Knockhill Reverse. I'm going to make sure that after this I'm going to talk to Dean Sinkovich and ask him how his stomach is, because he is a VR driver, and those pirouettes would have gone down absolutely magnificent with a VR headset on.
No, they wouldn't have. I think they just would have been full vomit on that one. I would be as well, because that would have been absolutely horrendous in VR, going around there multiple times like that. That was just been terrible. So, yeah.
I think you close your eyes, don't you, when those things happen?
Oh, mate, you have to.
VR.
Yeah. Absolutely. So there we go. Right, 30 seconds before we go into the final race of this evening. Don't forget, guys, like, subscribe, turn on the bells. Speak as well. You know, it'd be great to have conversations with some of you. If you are sitting at home watching this, let us know who you're cheering for as well. That would be absolutely amazing. A little bit quiet out there in YouTube land today. So, yeah, let us know that you are here, and see how you get on. But we're just about to go into the final race.
For tonight. They've got me for tonight, JP, so, you know, they could race me while I'm here. You know, we'd be happy with that.
Don't mind. Any interaction, I don't really mind this evening, to be honest. You know what I mean? You carry on. As long as it's not on me, Cowie, I don't really care, to be blatantly honest.
I thought so.
You know what I mean?
Well, look, there's plenty of action tonight in this racing, man. I mean, you know, we've managed to cover a good chunk of it, but I reckon there's still plenty out there on track that we missed, because it looked like there was stuff happening every single corner, you know, between the entire field. What, 22 cars out there? It's crazy.
Car 31.
Car 31 with a 10-point post-race penalty contact, lap 12, turn 1.
Who is that? That's Steve Daniels.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah. Grid for race number 3. Trevor Mortimer on pole. Carl Laver in second. Joshua Horton third. Then Ray Oliver and Jackson Pringle. Then Dougie Gowan, Steve Daniels, Kev Wakefield, Chris Tomlin, Shane Nowens, Wayne Edwards, and Bradley Wall rounding out the top 12. Then you got Dan Byrne, Greggy Leake, Bradley Mays, Steph Piccoli, Anthony Roach, Dan Bartouche, Mark Cochran, Greggy Johnson, David Simmons there, and Dean Sinkovich bringing up the back end of the field. Right, Trevor Mortimer, what are you going to be able to do here, dear sir? You're on pole position. What would you do in his shoes?
Get off the line as quick as I can and get over to the left, block the inside. You know, if they get a run around the outside on you, that's fair enough. Don't let anyone up the inside.
So you would fight it?
Oh, look, I mean, how many times do you get a chance to run at the pack? We know, look, the draft is strong around here, so we know the good drivers are going to, you know, get a run on you. So, but if you can cover the inside, force them to go around the outside, then the jeopardy's on them. Cold tyres, if they try to go around the outside of your T1 here on cold tyres, the gravel is probably going to get another victim. So protect the inside and then see where the race goes after that.
Okay, well, we're just waiting for a few more to get onto the grid here before we can get this up and running. Just waiting there for Horton, Pringle, Byrne. I believe they're the only 3, I think, that are left to go. We've got 30 seconds, according to RC. Thank you very much for RC for telling us there as well. Much appreciated. Should get these guys onto the track. There is a spot at the moment. That is third place man, Mr. Horton, who is not on the grid. Is he making it? That's the question. Yes. There we go. Right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls and people of all ages, get your drinks, get your popcorn, because if race 3 is anything like race number 1 and 2, it's nuts. So, let's have lights on. Let's get the racing going. Mortimer's going to lead the field here. Here are the lights. We're going to get them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's lights out and green, green, green. Mortimer didn't really go anywhere off the line. That's going to bring Lavery in as well. What's gone on further back there? It looks like Daniels may have had an issue, but I'm not entirely sure what the situation is. It looks like he's still running okay, but Mortimer's got that inside line down into turn 1. Very slow. Very slow. That's going to give Lavery the exit here as well. Lavery's going to take the lead. Joshua Horton's going to grab into third place. Pringle 4th. There's been something with Nowens a little bit further back there. They've had their own little drama, but Carl Lavery leading the way. Horton also overtaking him. Mortimer didn't fight Cowie. He allowed the 2. Whoa! There was a car backwards.
Oh, that was Lavery?
Ray Oliver.
Oh. And who's had his tag there in the process?
Gowans. Watch
He's
this.
not having a great race. Oh, well, it wasn't his fault. He got tagged in the back. Was that Horton that tagged him? Because that could have ramifications for the championship if it was. But he was definitely tagged by the car behind.
No, it's an LCR. That's LCR. That's either Tomlin or Daniels.
Well, Tomlin, if it's Tomlin, that's a moment as well for the championship because that, again, Mortimer running up in the top 3 now. And he did exactly what a city should have, mate. He stayed on the inside. The boys went around the outside there.
It is Tomlin.
That's great. Oh.
It is Tomlin.
Oh, wow.
2-1-2's just copped himself a drive-through penalty. So Chris Tomlin, that was Tomlin involved in that. So there we
big
go.
shake-up in the points for the Pro-Ams. Classification after tonight, buddy.
Oh, absolutely massive. Mortimer is on for a haul, mate. He has been a pirate robbing treasure away from Chris Tomlin this evening. He has just gone and robbed him blind, and poor old Tomlin's in the stocks have sponges thrown at him at the moment, because I tell you what, he has been robbed this evening by Mortimer, who has just taken a chunk of points. Lavery, Horton.
Oh,
Horton's too deep. You're not
big
stopping
dive.
that.
Big dive there.
Yeah.
But again, look, he's done well because, like as I said, he went up the inside there, and look, the fast guys, they're the ones that were able to find the grip around the outside, and he left room. Yeah, he come out of the first sort of sequence of corners in P3, P4, but as we said, this is not the guys in front of him. That's not the battle. The battle is against Tomlin and the other people in his class. So, you know, doing everything he can to maximise the points haul from tonight, and it looks like it's going to be a hefty one.
Definitely does that. Carl Lavery, Pringle, Horton fighting out. Daniels, Mortimer, Wakefield. Mortimer is away from Wakefield by about 5 seconds here. Sounded like there was tyres squealing in my ear hole there. I'm not quite sure who that was, but it wasn't any of these three. Carl Lavery with Pringle, with Horton. Horton's going again. Lavery's left that door open. Or Pringle's gone through, sorry, I should say. It's the red, not the black. Lavery's going to be there. He tucks in once again. It's not going to be long before these guys go and have a little bit of a ding-dong here, I think, Cowie. I think there could be a free wide opportunity coming out.
It's been going on all night between these guys. So, a little bit of contact there, but he's done well to get out of it. But again, you see that Pringle, you know, rather than sort of getting out of it and concentrating on staying on the black stuff, he's just stayed in it and take the off track. And, you know, because that momentum loss is such a big thing in these cars.
Yeah, absolutely. Pringle there over the gravel again, coming into the final corner. Horton's now tucked up. He's forcing Lavery out. Lavery's got to get, if you're going to defend, you've got to defend soon, mate, because he's going to be poking his nose out, and if he gets alongside you, you are in trouble. Mortimer's sat there. There you go. Lavery again, leaving that door wide open. Lavery again, hard on the brakes, trying to go around the outside. He's stopping the car. He's got the rotation. He didn't have a lot of option. He's now trying to get the run in behind Pringle. Lavery with a big old trying to undercut there as well at that same time, Cowie, and he almost made it work around that outside.
Well, I was going to say, I think it's one of the only good things about going in reverse around here is that T1 hairpin. It becomes a multiple line corner, sort of a la Sebring, I suppose, where you can come out and have multiple lines at that last corner. And it's creating this run where guys that can carry speed around the outside, or you can go up the inside and get on the gas early with a tight line with a cambered corner. So I think it's creating actually this good racing we're seeing tonight. That T1 sort of variable.
Yeah, I think that multiple line allows it. It's almost diamond in the corner, as if you're in an oval, or like places like Martinsville where it's quite tight. You take it in and you can diamond it back round again, and that's what some of these guys are doing. Carl Lavery there with Horton tucked in right behind. Let's move away for a minute, because Daniels is having his own little bit of a ding-dong. Daniels has got a post-race penalty of 10 points, I believe. Dan Bartusz, who's not had a great evening, but somewhat he's on the racetrack, so that's always good. He's just swept around the outside there as well. And then behind that, we've got Dan Byrne in the mix, but Bartusz is looking like he's going to go past. Oh, no, he's not.
I saw Dan going around the outside there, and I wonder if he's caught a bit of dirt or grass on the outside and he's come inside. Because you can see here, he's gone for a run around the outside. I think it's maybe the car on the inside that's moved out on him. So, and and that's one of those situations where Dan's going around the outside. The car's still really light, so it doesn't take much of a tap to throw the weight transference of the car out, and you just become a passenger. A little block pass there from Greggy Johnson. That looks like that's caught out. Who's that? Dougie. Yeah. I mean, that's probably the thing that the pros have an issue with. I know I see it in the SFLs every now and again, but you know, I think sometimes these quick guys don't realise that not everyone brakes where they brake, right? So, you know, you've got to, when you're coming back through the field, you know, like T1, you shouldn't be hitting the car in the rear because we've talked about multiple lines.
Yeah.
If you're going again faster, you can get on another line.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what was going on there either, because Piccoli did look like she was very quick. So whether or not she was too quick for Wall and Wall had covered her off, I'm not entirely sure what was happening there. As you can see, these guys, you can see the difference on there. 212 drive-through penalty for contact. 212 is Chris Tomlin. Well, that was basically, I think, the Ray Oliver situation where Ray went shooting backwards on that one. But Piccoli's trying to close back up. Pringle now with Lavery and Horton. Lavery still trying.
Oh, he's carrying. He's done well. He's done well because that car was rotating around. I saw the car on the inside. It might have been one of the cases where the car on the inside, Josh Horton, might have actually helped straighten him a little.
They made it through the, yeah, they made it. What's worse though, Cowie, is they made it through the jump side by side.
They did. But I think you might see Joshua give this one back. Yeah, it looks like he's getting out of it to let him go back. Is he?
Find out. No, he's not. Lavery's
no, he's fighting it. He's staying on the inside.
Lavery again going in for that diamond. Horton moving just a little bit. Got to be careful about that little bit of moving in the braking zone there. Coming into back markers, that's Ray Oliver, who was once leading this race as well, is now just been lapped by Jackson Pringle. Josh Horton is Lavery up attached to him. Mortimer is doing a job that Mortimer needs to do. He is staying with the leaders, but he's 8 seconds ahead of Dan Byrne here. So he's got ample room.
Yeah, it's perfect for him just to run his own race. You can see there that it's not. I think he maybe sees there's a podium ahead and there's another car spun. Who's that?
That's not the point. The point is, was there contact here? Because if so,
no, Ray's just
okay.
had a tank slapper there.
Yeah.
That's that second grab. When the tires grab that second time, it's so hard to grab. It's so hard to catch. Doesn't matter what the car is. When that happens, that's when the force speed back that we like driving with big high settings on our force speed back. That's when it comes back to bite you.
Yeah, Kev Wakefield's got a drive-through penalty for contact there as well. You saw it pop up lap 6, turn 3. Shane Nowens is now trying to fight out. That's Wayne Edwards in front of us. We've got Cinco Dean behind us here. These guys continuing to fight. It's side by side with Edwards and Nowens at the same time. Are they going to be able to do this?
That's exactly what we were talking about. That's what we're talking about, though. That run out there, you could see that he got a better run on the outside run, but the inside line managed to hang on to it. So it's great to see. I love tracks that do this sort of stuff, though. I wouldn't necessarily say I love Knockhill, but I don't mind that T1.
It's the thing with Knockhill is if you can nail 4 and 5, or the jumpers we've named it, you can pretty much make this racetrack yours. Because the way it works is that 4 and 5 is the most imperative section of the track, because you want to make sure you can get the jump right. And if you can get that right, I think the rest of the track, for me anyway, and don't get me wrong, Cowie, I am not an expert by any sort of imagination, for me feels a lot more easier knowing that I've got that right. And that's the thing I think that I like looking at. Ray Oliver and Greg Leake are trying to go side by side here. This is basically down for 18th and 19th. Leakey just loses that position. But I think that's the thing. I think the track just feels a little bit more comfortable if you can get 4 and 5 right.
Well, again, I mean, this is the third race that these guys have been racing, and Steph out there as well. So, they go, a bit wide there. That's Stephanie in the background. It was sort of letting Kevin went up on the inside of her there, and she's just got out on the dirt. And there's not a lot of grip out there, Steph.
No, none.
Dean Stinkovich having a good run here at the moment too. P10 and a good battle with Nowens, and who's that Edwards in front of them. So good three-way battle here. But yeah, poor old Dean copped it last race, and we're probably starting right at the back of this one. And he's up battling inside the top 10. That's great to see.
Yeah, moves himself up into 5th in class. He's got Edwards there as well. In front of him now, Anthony Roach, I believe. Nope, that's the end of that battle as he was fighting it out. Horton and Pringle maybe going once more. That's Roach sat on the right-hand side there. I don't know quite sure why he sat there or how he got there, but he is there. So we're going to leave that one to be figured out here as well. Dean now closed right in behind Edwards. Dean's on a little bit of a flyer in this latter part of this race.
He had good pace here tonight. Like, he was on it from the word go. We saw him up in the top 10 early, I think, in the qualifying, very qualified quite high for race 1. So he's had good pace. Just, you know, he unluckily got sideswiped and sent into the stratosphere in race number 2. But race number 3 here, he's right in the heat of the action, putting some pressure on Edwards now.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And look at that chrome pack on Edwards' car. That glows nicely. Look at the sheen on it.
Looks
Almost
good.
looks like you'd be afraid to wash it.
Yeah, it does look good there. But Dean now coming into the left-hander here. Is he going to be able to make this one through for Dean through Clark? Nope, it's now the jump.
See there. But see there, he stayed out on the dirt because that's where the momentum was. The car was going out there. Well, I've got to stay in it. And that's what these guys are doing. They're staying in it. And that's why we're seeing a few incidents, I think, across all 3 races tonight. Because it's just so important to maintain that momentum. You give it up and you lose half a second and then suddenly you lose the toe and you're out of the battle. Look, he's making a move here. Good move to the inside there from Edwards to defend that.
Yeah, that's his only move though in hindsight. Dean's going to try and go around the outside. Nope, he breaks it early. See Edwards gone in deep. Yeah, he's going to go undercut him. Almost there. They're going to be side by side on the run down into Clark now. Dean's going to have his nose. No, he didn't. Edwards got his nose back alongside him there.
Yeah, look, it reminds me of, was it the Tasmanian Super Sprint where the supercars were in Tasmania a couple of weeks ago, and they've got that big, long sort of hairpin, long straight in, long straight out, and they talk a lot about side draft and all about, you know, maybe bumping the car to get a bit of a run on him on the exit, but we're seeing that the outside line there, you're able to carry speed, so even though you defend the inside, the outside seems to have some good pace.
Definitely does. Well, we're going to find out how this is going to go. Is Dean going to carry on this battle moving forward? Pringle and Horton did get to within half a second of each other. That's now dropped back a little bit. Greggy Leak moving himself out of the way there. Don't think he had much of an option. Edwards still with Singovich tucked in behind. Dean's now going to try alongside him. It looks like he is alongside him. I think
he got a better run.
Yeah, he got the better run and got the job done there, Carrie.
Oh, I think Edwards might have gone out into the dirt a little bit and had to get out of it there too, because that's we're talking 3 or 4 car lengths there. It was a lot closer going into the corner, so I think it might have been a bit of maybe a brown moment for Wayne, and decided to get out of it. Could be the first tonight, decided to get out of it.
Why do we have a safety car?
We've got now it's in the pit lane. Now it's had a moment. Oh, that'd be why. So yes, he's in the pit lane. That's why it showed him in the pit lane. And sticky wall, but by rights, there's no way you should be able to drive that car after that hit.
No, he can't. He's in the wall anyway. So we do.
What's interesting, race control here tonight has thrown a couple of safety cars sort of getting into that 5-minute window. Normally they're reluctant to do that because it sort of takes too long, but I think because we've got 50-something second laps here, they can, get the field under control in a couple of laps and let them go, and we're only losing maybe 2, maybe 3 minutes, so we're still going to get a 3 or 4 lap dash to the finish. Just, I know that if this had been at Bathurst, there'd be no safety car with 5 minutes to go.
No, definitely not. It would be just a tow and get out of the way, which is what we kind of asked for yesterday in the SFLs. It was more of a please just to get them to tow, otherwise we're going to be, I think we hit 3 anyway, close to nearly 4 safety cars, so we only did hit 3, which was great, but yeah, I think there could have been a lot more, to be blatantly honest, if RC had called one every single time somebody had gone into the wall. So these guys slowing back up.
Yeah, well, I crashed at the S's, so it was a bad spot. I knew that they were going to call one for my crash. But look, at the plus JP, we get a nice bunched up field for 3, maybe 4 laps at the end of this race. So it's, you know, I think probably the person that's cursing the most is probably going to be Mortimer, because he had like a 7 second gap to his rivals.
Yep.
And now they're all going to get a chance to get back on the back of him. And Daniel Byrne, he's got that pro behind him, you know, so yeah, Mortimer's probably the one that's the hardest done by. But then again, you know, I think if we thought we were going to get through the 3 races tonight without seeing at least 1 or 2 safety cars, I think we were, you know, pretty bonkers thinking that.
I do agree. There is people in chat calling it a night. It was a good crashing race number 2, 747. It was. You've had a rotten one. There's Troy Dooley as well. Yeah, Tower will be on your screen after the safety car. Sorry, it was a little bit missing at the beginning of the race. That's my fault. Safety car did now laps than free drivers. That would be great, Andrew, if I could get that in English, so I can understand what that is actually trying to say. I think you're trying to say the safety car's done more laps than the free drivers. The drivers.
Well, that's what I was going to... Dougie told me that tonight. He said that he actually did more laps than me at Bathurst last night in the safety car.
Yes.
Because I crashed out in lap 3.
Yes, you definitely did. Greggy Leake did more.
So it meant that he finished on the time. He finished on the placings ahead of me.
Yeah. There we go.
All right. Safety car pulling away already, buddy. So we're ready to, what, maybe 2-3 lap dash here at the end?
Yeah, depending on when Pringle gets the car over the line.
I think in these cases, you've just got to focus with your own exit out of the last corner. I mean, you could try to hold them up, but I reckon that you're creating a heap of pain at the hairpin if you do that, so just focus on your own exit.
Yeah.
I'm surprised he didn't go there.
No,
I thought he might have gone then, but I think Horton got a run on him and he thought better of it.
Yeah. Going to back him up, Pringle.
Okay.
He's going to back him up.
Yep.
He has gone now. Yeah, green flag is a waving. We are moving here as well. Jackson Pringle over the line. He's going to go. The whole shot is his. Let's see what happens behind him. Is Horton going to make the dive? Is Lavery going to make the dive? Is there going to be drama further back? It looks like there possibly could be here with some of these guys in the mix. But at the moment, Pringle, Horton, Lavery, it's going to be 3 laps. No, there's going to be this one and one more maybe. Just about here. It's going to be really close, Cowie.
It will be, yeah. I was watching Mortimer there. It looks like he missed. He sort of slightly missed the jump there, but he looks like Dan, Byrne and Daniels next to him also missed that jump. So he's still hanging on to P4 at the moment. These boys up front. Big dive inside from Horton. I think Pringle got a little bit squirrely there on entry and had to get out of the throttle a little bit because Lavery's also got through on him.
Yeah.
There you go. There's that run out on the grass to keep momentum.
Lavery now sitting in that second spot. Pringle now gone to third. It's all about the battle of the 2. There's going to possibly be one more after this. I think they've crossed with enough time. Horton's going to get this, I believe, if he can hold on the front. Dougie Gowans has had more drama. Don't really want to keep focusing on poor old Dougie. He's had a rotten evening. Trev Mortimer leading the Pro-Ams. He's got Steve Daniels in behind him. Car 15 drive-through penalty for incident points. Car 15 is... Who is car 15? Mark Cochran. He's got a drive through there for incident points for him. Over the jump they go.
Not having a great race either.
No, Mortimer still holding on. Daniel's still there as well. Looks like Greggy Johnson and Bradley Mays have had some form of drama as well. It's hard to do replays when we're coming on to the final lap of the race because Lavery's got Pringle tucked in right behind him. Horton's going to take the win, I think, out in front at the moment here, Cowie.
Well, 1 lap to go. Can Horton hang on to it? There's the white flag getting thrown there. Big inside move. That was late.
Let him go. Let him go.
Yeah.
Dan Byrne's going to come
he's
round.
Done that, but it's going to give... Yeah, Dan Barto. Oh, sorry, that's Daniel Byrne taking advantage of that. You can see Mortimer's in the thick here. There, he's doing well because these pros all around him, and then Daniel's now behind. Oh, he's blinking. Don't want to do that.
Oh, Lavery.
Oh
my God.
Oh
my God. This is going to be side by side in the jump. Somebody's going to have to back out.
Cars.
Oh, Mortimer and Daniels. That's the leader of the Pro-Ams. Pro-Ams have just gone. both leaders. That gives Dean the win. That gives Dean the win. Oh my God. Dean Sinkovic is going to win the Pro-Ams after he's flying in race number 2. We will get to have a chat with him. Horton over the line. Lavery holds on for Pringle from Byrne. But Dean Sinkovic wins the Pro-Ams. He wins the Pro-Ams. Steph Piccoli wins the AMs. Oh my God. Go Steph over the line. Piccoli takes the win in the AMs. That has just jiggled up this podium right at the end of the race.
Is that Steph's first win in the AMs?
I think so. I do believe so.
Oh, wow. That'll be awesome too, because I know we were in the V8s. We've got Di Feldman as our resident female V8 driver, and she almost picked up a podium, and it might have been my fault for passing her. That meant she didn't get it. But Steph on the top step for the AMs. How good is that? And Josh Horton, well, look, he showed his pace tonight. Had to fight in each of those sort of second and third race. And I think Lavery Pringle, that was a great battle all night. Mortimer finished back in 14, so that's only 3 spots ahead of Tomlin. So he was on for a big points haul. This is what's happened.
It's Bradley Mays and Greggy Johnson. Oh, man.
Oh no.
That was nuts.
Rather Greggy was in benefit from that.
I want to try and find... Is this Wakefield's incident with... It is Wakefield's incident. I think here, side by side, he's going to come round, is he? Oh, they're going to crash on the straight. Oh, no, they don't crash. He does go over the jump. He does make it through. I'm trying to find...
that could have been dangerous there too.
Who was the...
That Steph got it on Greg, so Greg had the win and Steph got him at the last bit there with that slow car. God, it's so... that's not Steph.
No, I want the incident with Stevie Daniels and Trev Mortimer, because this is what mixed up the Pro-Am fight here. This is what gave Dean the win. Oh... Man.
That's just that inside curb. That's that inside red sausage curb. Just lifting the car, and he got a little bit sideways, that tiny little tap.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I'm happy that I've joined a night where so much happened, buddy, because that was, it was chaotic at times, but very entertaining.
Yeah, bonkers. Josh Horton is your winner. Lavery second, Pringle third in the pros. Can we get them 3 in the podium, please? In the interview room, Dan Byrne. Then we can have Dean Sinkovic there and Steph Piccoli. Wayne Edwards, Kevin Wakefield, 1, 2, 3 in the Pro-Ams. None of the championship leaders in the Pro-Ams are in the podium. I'd like to point that out for you. No Tomlin as well, no Mortimer, and no Stevie Daniels. So there's Kevin Wakefield going to gain points. Steph Piccoli wrapping up the win in the AMs with Dougie Gowans, Mark Cochran, Bradley Mays and Steve Daniels in behind that. Greggy Johnson, Trev Mortimer, Greg Leake, Bradley Wall, Chris Tomlin in behind that one. This evening has been nuts. Ray Oliver, Shane Nowens, Anthony Roach and Dan Bartouche finishing it off there. That was just absolutely bonkers. But let's start with the interviews here. I'm going to have to try and go back a little bit where there isn't any drama to be able to get a decent run on a interview replay. As we're going to bring the lady in here as well, who we believe has just taken her first win in the AMs. Grabbed Greggy Johnson right at the end. It's only gone and done it. Shared the booth with me last night, and I get great pleasure in having a chat with her again here. Winning the AMs. Steph Piccoli. Steph, welcome in.
Thanks, guys. Oh wow, what a race! What an end to that. That was awesome.
Nuts, I think.
Wow.
Was the word
I got a smile from ear to ear, I can tell you that.
How was it out there? How was the racing?
It was tough. Short track, a lot of cars. Even though it was dry, it was tough. It was definitely tough.
It looked like Steph out there that track limits were optional. And, when you got out there in the grass, you had to sort of stay in the throttle or you were giving it up.
Yep.
And that's what created some of the jeopardy out there.
Yeah. Once you're in the weeds or the gravel trap, you were pretty much stuck. So you had to sort of keep moving. I found myself out there a couple of times during the night. So you just had to keep the foot into it. Otherwise, you're not going anywhere anytime soon.
Well, when you watch this back, you'll see how flattering JP's being to you. Showing maybe one of those little moments he's talking about.
Thanks, JP. Thank you.
I do
Thanks, JP.
apologise. I literally just clicked on your name. I was not expecting that to happen. Because at the time you were just driving. So I do apologise, Steph, on that. But listen, it's a win and a podium in race 2 as well. You've not had a bad night.
No, it's been a great night actually, considering no setup at the beginning and making little setup changes in between and going back to my original. Virtually no practice. I think I had about 10 minutes of practice beforehand. But yeah, it was awesome. Really gelled with this track. It was a bit off-putting. Used to going clockwise around Knockhill, not anti-clockwise, so that was a bit different.
But
now
it was
the
fun,
big
wasn't
thing
it?
is that you've got the bragging rights over Di now with the first female victory in SRW.
Yeah. That's.
Well, I hope she watches this one tonight.
I was hoping she'd beat me to the punch, but hey, I'll take it.
Absolutely, Steph. Well done to you. Anyone you want to shout out before we let you go?
Yeah. Massive shout out to Apex Esports sponsors and partners: Pagnian Advanced Simulation, Next Level Racing, 5, Dubby, Fanatec, Razor, Dump Grinding Central Coast, and Tree Services. Chubby Buns Burgers, Project 45 Designs, and Waper Pool and Spa Services. Of course, all the team for their support, and JT, the team owner there.
Blimey.
And thanks to you guys for putting on the broadcast and everybody else in SRW.
Blimey. That was a long old list. I hope you got that written down.
Maybe.
Yeah, exactly. Don't tell me that you come out and remembered that. Give over.
Nah.
No.
Nah, my memory's not that good.
Yeah, exactly. Steph, well done on your first victory, love. Congratulations, and we'll look forward to seeing you next week.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
Right, we're going to have a chat now with the man who took the win in the Pro-Ams. Race 1, well, I'm sure doesn't really want to talk about that. Race 2, well, he flew. He flew like the wind, Bullseye, as he literally went flying up in the air in VR. We'll find out how that was and how much puke come out at the time of the fly. But he went and still concentrated in race 3, and drama at the end with Trev Mortimer and Steve Daniels allowed this man to take the win, which was, I think, even for him, completely unexpected. But let's have a chat with him here as well. Dean Sinkovich. Dean, well done, son.
JP, Cowie, how are we, gentlemen?
More importantly, how are you after your trip into the stratosphere and through the building and everything?
First comment, last race, I planned all that. I was there, ready and waiting, mate.
Rubbish.
All right, JP. I knew it was going to happen, mate. I was there. You're always going to be there, you know what I mean?
Well, you got to be there to be in it to win it, mate. So well done for that one.
Exactly right.
How was
first 2 races. Let's not talk about the first 2 races. My spin into where was it? Pit entry. It landed 2 spots away from my pit box, which was spewing. I thought a little bit more, and I could have just, off and went.
Give me a 40-second tow.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so that was pretty good actually. That was like, where did that come from? And in VR, it's spectacular, mate. It is absolutely spectacular.
Mate,
shock horror, and yeah.
I'd love to have your feed off VR coming through that, because that would have been absolutely awesome. We did it from the cockpit.
Well, I didn't know where I was.
Mate, you went.
I didn't know where I was on stage.
You went through the stand, and you ended up in the car park behind pit lane, just missing a parking space. You almost landed directly in the parking space. You were just a little bit over, so you lost points for not landing in the parking space.
Could have had a hot dog or a pie.
Oh, mate, absolutely, mate. You would have got haggis. You're up in Scotland, son. So, you know what I mean? You probably would have got that exactly there as well.
Good old haggis.
But in general, how was it? It seemed chaotic. It seemed chaos.
I wouldn't say chaos. It was very difficult to overtake, obviously. So you're waiting for someone to make a mistake in front of you. Or, the first race, me and Mark Cochran went nose to nose or side by side. And it was so difficult to run smoothly through any of the corners, really, bar maybe the first one. But it was very difficult. Yeah, so you were just hoping people make mistakes and and that was it. Really, that's how the last race occurred, and the first two, I was the one that making the mistake. So that's the way it goes.
Yeah, but you made up for it in race number 3, so we'll give you that one as
I
well.
did.
But Dean,
I
well
did.
done, fella. Anyone you want to shout out before we let you go? And you won when your brother's not here, so maybe we should kick him out more often.
That's a great idea. Great idea. Let's put that on the board. Yeah, of course.
Oh.
Yeah, listen, the one and only Warren and Brown have been here from day one, and let's not forget you broadcast team, JP. A great job you do, Cowie as well. Cowie, is this the first one you've done this season?
Yeah, mate. Yeah, no, I'm too busy
Well
racing
done,
at
mate.
the moment. And,
Yeah, I know.
handing
Yeah,
over the
exactly.
V8 admin to me, so to keep me busy for something. But I'm enjoying
Let's
my racing. So
not forget the race stewards. They're always doing a tough time. They always cop it hard and give them a pat in the back. But Warren Brown, Grims, Shannon, and we'll leave it at that at this point. And yeah, thank you, gents, for the time.
All right, man. Awesome job. Well done, Dean. Congratulations, buddy. Look forward to seeing
Cheers.
you next week.
Cheers, mate.
All right, next up we'll have a chat with second place man in the pros, Mr. Carl Lavery. 2 podiums this evening here. Great job from him. Let's see how he found it out on the racetrack. Carl, welcome in, bud. How are you?
Hey, guys. Good. How's it going?
Not bad, mate. Not bad. That was we had a great time, didn't we, Cowie?
we did, mate, and you were in the thick of the action, so you got a good amount of airtime tonight, buddy. How was it? Because you were sort of battling. You get little bumps and grazes there. You go back, you come back forward. It looked like a one of the sort of races where you had to be on it the whole time, all 3 races.
Yeah, I was glad that they were 20-minute races. You definitely had to be focused the entire time, especially with that little jump there. So yeah, I'm just glad that I hung on to it for the most part.
And I've sort of said to the other drivers out there, but it looked like if you run sort of wide on some of those corners, you're better off just staying in it and trying to, get yourself back onto the track. But I'm sure you had a few of those moments out there and you watched a few of the other boys. So, is that the close racing that you want?
Yeah, it is. This track is a whole heap of fun. The close racing's good, but it's also pretty risky because you might completely ruin someone's race with one little touch or one little door bang, because especially the bits with the elevation change really upset the car. So you've got to be really careful with where you get physical. So I think for the most part the cars that I saw mostly kept it together and reasonably clean. So and in regards to running wide, there's a couple places there where if you go off onto the grass, you lose a heap of time, but others, it's not too detrimental as long as you can hold onto it. So I think that's why there's so much gravel on the track.
There was a lot, to be fair. Do you think, though, that I know we only had 22 cars, but do you think if we got the normal grid size of like 30 plus, it would have been even more chaotic than what it was already?
Yeah, I mean, you probably saw what happened when there was some lap cars getting involved with the front of the field, and that was upsetting the order a couple times there. So I think you would have seen a lot more of that. And when that happens, the guys at the front get pretty desperate to get past. So we get a bit maybe a bit dangerous in trying to speed around people, or they're racing their own race as well. So it gets chaotic in a little track like this for sure.
Yeah, it definitely does.
You have to keep did you have to keep account of your incident points and save a few, or was it you were getting a down pat out there so you weren't sort of costing yourself too many 1Xs?
I reckon some of the guys would have been getting up there, but I was getting one every other lap maybe if I wasn't careful. So on a 20-minute race, it was okay. If it was a 40-minute race, I think it would have been real dicey. So the 320s worked well for tonight.
Yeah.
But yeah, 1X here and there. I think if you had some more 4Xs with bashing into cars, you might be in a bit more danger.
Yeah, absolutely. Well done, fella, on your second places and your 2 podiums here this evening. Anyone you want to shout out before we let you go?
Yeah, well, the team sponsors. We got Grim, Shannon's, Shunt Scenery. They're all in the car there, but keep us out on track. And of course, SRW as well for putting on a awesome show, and you guys for bringing it live to us.
Okay, man. Well, great job there, Carl. Take care, buddy, and we'll look and catch up with you soon.
Cheers. See you guys.
Yeah. Right, next up we will have a chat with a man who took 2 victories and a 3rd place, so he got 3 podiums here this evening as well. It's better than what he did last night anyway, but let's have a catch up with him here as well. Joshy Horton. Josh, welcome in, bud. How are you?
Doing well, JP. How are you? How are you, Cowie?
Mate, I'm good. What about yourself, mate? It looked like you were right in the thick of the action in every race, and you know, you had sort of pro-ams and ams giving it to you there at sometimes too. So she must have been pretty fun out there on track for those 3 races.
Yeah, look, definitely an action-packed night. There was lots going on, and it wasn't really a lap where you got to chill out and relax. But yeah, it was great to battle with a few more people throughout the field and get an idea of how everybody is. But overall, yeah, great night and a great track, just a little bit congested.
How was your car after race 1 when you suddenly found a white car in your door?
To be honest, I don't even know how I finished that race. I had to look at the replay, and he has hit me square on in the side of my door, and I thought I was done. I was waiting for the meatball to say it was over, but it never came. So pray to the gods that we got to finish that one.
Yeah, you definitely did there, mate, but it was a fun evening out there anyway, to be blatantly honest, and well done on your 3 podiums. Anyone you want to shout out before we let you go?
Yeah, just a big shout out to SRW for putting on the series. It's a great one to race, and I urge anyone who is into sim racing to give it a go. But I race for Vermilion Motorsports, and our sponsors are RaceLab, Verb Designs, Supernova Motorsports, Hymo Setups, Vermilion X Coaching, thekartshop.com.au, and Entropy Sim Sports.
All right, bud. Well done, fella. Congratulations. Look forward to seeing you next week.
Thanks, guys. Enjoy your night.
All right, there you go. That was the end of the interviews. Cowie, final words from you, sir?
Oh, a cracker night, mate. You know, look at jump in, and it's a, you know, triple sprint header night with 3 20-minute races, and like as you said, the field was a little bit smaller than you've had before, but I don't know if that racing there could have handled another 10 cars. I mean, it was pretty chaotic as it was. Good fun though to watch.
Absolutely. I think we got away with one with the 22 that we did have, but it's been a fun night here as well. Thank you so much for joining us all the way through this one. I've been JP. I've been alongside Andrew Cowan, and as always, take care. Have a great week, and you never know, we might see you on the track sometime. Good night.
This is amazing. It was clash heads again. This is like Chaz Mostert and Cam Waters. Almost the same situation. Better contact going down the hill. Sam Noble wants to sniff on Dave Coleman now. Sam Noble bottle right now because tell you what, Bruce Tanak and Jamie Dyke just absolutely drove away from us.